Welcome to Applied Bionomics. Today I want to talk to you about Gerbera. There's basically two types of production Gerberas. There's the cut Gerbera industry, and there's also the potted Gerbera as a flowering plant industry. We treat them basically the same. A lot of people are afraid of Gerbera because they are a real magnet for pests. Our experience is if you're using the right biocontrols and you use them at the right time, Gerbera is actually a very, very easy crop to manage. The main issues can be thrips, spider mites, and whitefly. So first we're going to start with the whitefly. There's two biocontrols that are extremely effective. One is the beetle Delphastus. If you're not using Delphastus in your Gerbera, you're missing something very important. Incarcia also plays a role, but it's not as critical as the Delphastus. So in Delphastus, when you're scouting, you're looking for pupa that are forming on the bottom side of the leaf. It looks like a fuzzy wart, and also larvae. So there's a couple of larvae. There's one small larvae here, and I think I just saw a larger larvae moving along. Being a ladybug, I don't know if you can see that well, but that's the larvae there. Being a ladybug, the shape is very much like a ladybug larvae. It looks like the alligator. In this case, they're creamy colored, and but they still have the 6 legs, the extended abdomen, and the strange-looking body shape. Delphastus eat all stages of whitefly. The adults prefer the eggs and will scoop up the eggs first, which is a really nice way of shutting down a problem. And then the larvae tend to go after whatever they can bump into, which is in most cases scale, because the Delphastus are laying their eggs in an infested site. One of the things that we have problems with customers with respect to Delphastus is they're very, very difficult to scout. The beetles are a little tiny black beetle, and I don't think I'm going to be able to show you one, because when you turn the leaf over, they tend to fall. Their defensive attitude is that as soon as the leaf is disturbed or they see a coarse shadow like a bird flying by, they play dead and fall down, and that's their defense. So a lot of Gerbera growers go, well, I'm really not that happy with Delphastus, but it's more from a scouting point of view. When you start using a lot of Delphastus on a regular basis all through the year, one of the nice things is it's a tropical beetle. It has no diapause, so it doesn't care how low the light level is or how low the temperatures are. It'll just keep going. When you're dealing with spider mite, that can be a huge issue here. The trick is to establish phallacis in these plants early. Phallacis is a predator that persists. It feeds on pollen, it feeds on windblown pollen, it feeds on nectaries on the plant, and it not only eats two-spotted spider mite, but any of the eriophyid mites that might be affecting you, and even things like whitefly eggs. So in a Gerbera crop, there's always enough food to keep the phallacis going. Phallacis are extremely effective at preventing spider mite buildups. If you have a serious problem where the weather has changed, it's gotten real hot, there's been a lot of pressure, you brought in some plants from somebody else and they're loaded with spider mites, we can always go to Persimolis or the beetle Stethurus, which is a little black beetle quite similar looking to the Delphastus, but it's a specialist for spider mites. For thrips, thrip management is more of preventing the damage before it happens. So it's trapping adults using vanilla extract or peppermint to pull adults onto yellow sticky cards, in most cases by the doorways. Most thrips come in through your doors and then distribute themselves throughout the crop. If you can pull the adults off before they lay eggs, there will be no damage whatsoever. If you allow the eggs to hatch, the larvae scrape the surface and you can end up with striations in the flower, you can end up with stripes in the flower, which is from a cut Gerbera grower is extremely expensive and very damaging. And so what we want to do is prevent the adults from establishing on the plants. If they are established on the plants, we can use the predatory mite Cucumeris at any time of the year, and it will go after the first instar larvae and harass the second instar larvae. And as long as you've got in the soil Stratiolalaps, which is a soil predatory mite, it'll feed on the pupating thrips. So it's a whole package deal that way, but this is actually a very easy crop, and most of our customers really don't have a big problem with Gerbera. So give it a try. Make sure you're using fresh Incarcia, Delphastus, and Phallacis.